Picture it before you paint it. Download the free Dulux Visualizer app and see how your room will look in any color you choose. Dulux, let's color.
You can run, but you can't hide from the appeal of neutral colours. A neutral space has an unassuming elegance that commands tranquility. From the deepest brown to the palest grey, Abilene Brody of Head Interiors shows us how neutrals are anything but boring.
Head Interiors is a design firm that's been running for 35 years. I've been part of the team for about 5 years now. We run residential projects, corporate projects, and a lot of hospitality as well. I do, at the moment, a lot of residential work, high-end residential. The project that I've worked on recently was for a family that consisted of 4 males and 1 female. So it was very important to my client that the home didn't feel masculine. It's a modern home, but we had a lot of antique pieces that we had to incorporate that they've collected over the years. It's a blend of modern and classical. I've tried to keep the overall look of the home very modern. And then again, with the use of colour and with finishes, I've made the home feel very soft and not feminine, but try to keep it as far away from masculine as possible. The design feature in this home, as you can see, is the neutral palette. The client wanted very soft colours, no introduction of brights, so we had to really work with the same tones and just blend it with different materials. The inspiration for the home was actually a piece of art that the client had, an Errol Boyley painting, a beautiful piece of art. It's got very, very soft colours, light blues, light greens. So instead of using a general wall colour that was a taupe colour, we introduced a colour that has a slightly green undertone, which you can see throughout the space. The architecture dictated that we do a modern interior, but the client did have a lot of antique pieces that she wanted to incorporate into the home and bring across. So we had to blend the two worlds together. This house downstairs is completely open plan. As you can see, the lounge flows into the dining room, flows into the kitchen. So it was very important in this neutral space to tie these areas together with how I did it was with the timber that we used. I used reflective surfaces, so as you can see in the dining room table has got a nice glass reflective surface. The ceramics, the art pieces and the ceramics are all reflective. It just lifts it a little bit. And then again, chatting about using neutrals in textures, the scatter cushions here, you can see all the colours blend, but there's slightly different variations in textures and in the prints on the scatters.
Wooden furniture, together with the neutral palette, creates a cosy atmosphere by mixing old with new. The best way to blend the modern architecture of a space with a relaxed feel is to focus on incorporating antique pieces to break away from the straight lines of modernity.
To try and bring interest into neutrals, because obviously neutrals are neutrals, they're different tones of beiges or browns, you can introduce different textures and different patterns. So even if a fabric on a scatter cushion is a soft, light colour, if it's got a slight pattern to it or a different texture to it, that brings interest through. If you don't want to go for a bold colour when you're breaking your neutrals, you can go for a white or black. They don't offend anyone, they're not a bold colour, they kind of blend into the background, but they lift a neutral space. I absolutely love working with neutrals because when you're living in a home, everyone has mood swings, ups and downs. So in 3 years' time, you may hate taupe and beige, but if you've got a taupe and beige interior, you can bring bursts of color through with accessories, and with the smaller pieces that don't cost a lot. You don't want to be changing your sofa because it's going to cost you a fortune, so change the scatter cushions and the throw and keep the neutral big pieces.
In the decorating world of beige, it is a good idea to introduce lighter hues in earthy tones, as they pair well with a neutral base. Add a feature color inspired by artwork and objets as a visual break from a neutral color palette. Reflective ceramics and captivating cushions will bring interest to the solid look. With a palette of soothing neutrals and abundant texture, this space exudes a timeless elegance. For a successful neutral palette, try using a color swatch with 5 different tones of the same color. Add accessories such as woodwork and soft furnishings in harmonizing hues, which should sit close to your main shade on the color wheel. Texture can be added to your interior through your choice in paint products. A mid-sheen finish of Dulux luxurious silk will complement the contemporary ultra-matte finish of Dulux rich matte on feature walls for a distinct texture contrast. If you have an inspirational artwork hanging in your home, why not let that be the source of your color inspiration? Download the free Dulux Visualizer app on the App or Google Play Store. Simply take a picture and select your favorite Dulux color. The Visualizer is your solution to finding inspirational color palettes to dress your home in your favorite neutrals. Picking a darker shade of your neutral color to create a feature wall will add depth to your space.
Picture it before you paint it. Download the free Dulux Visualizer app and see how your room will look in any color you choose. Dulux, let's color.